Hi everyone, welcome back to another gameplay of Infinitode 2. So, welcome to the first episode of the Tower Guide series that I will start doing about this game. And now the game has undergone a huge change and a huge update with the 1.8.0, and therefore I think it's worth taking some time to try to explain each of the towers, showing based on my experience the strengths, weaknesses, how to best exploit each tower to fully use it for your strategy, for your own strategy. So yeah, in this first video we're gonna start by the very first tower you unlock in the game, the basic tower. Therefore we're gonna take a look at the research afterwards. I just want to go into a gameplay. All right, let's go, level 1.1. all right, and let's just take a look at this tower, because I think that the in-game is just the easiest way to really show this tower, the strengths, the weaknesses, and the efficiency against different type of enemies. So first of all, you can see that this tower is not very expensive. Now this number right here, it's less than because of the fact that I have a lot of research. So you can also see that if I place the tower, the range also is boosted, all the stats are going to be boosted because of research. But for what I want to show you in this video, this is not going to be important. Now, if you click into this info button, you can see that here you can find the info for each tower. And this is very interesting because it gives you an overview about the tower without you having to place it. Of course, if you place it, you can sell it right afterwards for the full amount of coins, so you don't lose any cash. But this is very nice to have. You can see that the game description says simple tower with good but limited power. We can find 5 different stats here that are going to be classified based on maximum of 5. So 5 is the maximum stats for each of these characteristics. All right, and therefore you can see that range of this tower is classified as 3 out of 5. So we could say it's moderate range. Attack speed 4 out of 5, so very fast, so pretty good attack speed. Damage as well, 3 out of 5, so moderate damage. Crowd damage means area damage, so the ability of the tower to damage multiple enemies at once. And you can see that this is very low, only 1 out of 5. So this tower, unfortunately, the main weakness is especially this, the fact that it cannot really hit and damage multiple enemies at once. It can only target one enemy, and yeah, so that's the main weakness. And then we can see the last is agility, 4 out of 5, so pretty good agility. And now the agility is something regarding the rotation speed of the tower and the projectile speed of the tower. So how quickly the tower can rotate and therefore can follow the enemies as the enemies move. And then projectile speed is how quickly the projectiles can reach and damage the enemies. If I place this tower here, you can see that we find here the same stats as before, right? So range, damage, attack speed, rotation, and projectile speed. And then we find a 6th stat. Now some towers are going to have multiple special stats, because you can see this is yellow. And this is something that you can boost with the research, but it cannot be increased with the upgrade levels, or it cannot be increased in any way. So the only way how you can increase this is through abilities, is when the tower upgrades level passively, and through research. All right, so in this case, the special ability for the special passive, let's call it like that, for the basic tower, is having a damage multiplier. So all the damage that the tower is going to do is going to be multiplied by this factor right here. So you can see this is a percentage. So this means that the damage that the tower deals is 151%, this number right here. So this tower, when attacking the enemies, is not actually doing 14 damage, but it's doing 14 plus 151% of 14. So it's doing 51% more damage, let's say that. So it would be around 21, a little bit more than 21 damage. And yeah, this is the passive. The special passive, this levels up with the passive level, as I said before. Sometimes it can be boosted with abilities depending on the tower, but it can be increased with the upgrade level. Now, another very important thing to look at this tower is the effectiveness against enemies. This is one of the most important things because each level is going to have a different set of enemies that can be spawned. And each tower, as we can see, has different strengths and weaknesses against different enemies. So now the numbers in green, so in this case regular and venom enemies, are the enemies to which this tower is going to do 50% more damage. So taking aside all the other stats, this tower against these enemies, these two type of enemies, is going to do 50% more damage already. Then we can see that against fast enemies, light enemies, and bosses, the tower deals the normal amount of damage, so 100%, the normal amount. And then we can see that the orange numbers instead are the numbers that the tower, those enemies that the tower is going to be weaker against. For example, strong enemies and icy enemies are only gonna be receiving 50% of this tower's damage. So imagine here we are doing like 20 damage, right, to these enemies. You can see that here the HP is 19, then 30, 23, all right? So we're doing 21 damage. If a strong enemy would spawn right away, so let's see this is 51 HP. These strong enemies in wave 7 are gonna have 51 HP. But these strong enemies are not receiving 20 damage, but they're receiving only 10 because the efficiency, you can see it also right here, the efficiency against the strong enemies is only 50. And it becomes worse against armored, healers, and constructor enemies. Only 25%, so you're only doing 1/4 of the total damage of the tower to these type of enemies. And then of course, the red numbers are the enemies that this tower cannot even attack. And you can see that the two flying enemies are going to be immune. So this tower cannot hit flying enemies. So if you, in case you're playing on a level that has flying enemies spawning, you need to be careful. You need to remember that this tower cannot hit flying enemies. So that's the meaning of 0. And so therefore you can see that this very quick window right here can really give you an insight about the tower already right off. So that you can see that this tower is going to be good against these enemies. It's going to be okay against these other enemies. It's going to struggle a little bit against 50% enemies, and then it's going to struggle a lot against these 25% enemies. So it's always good to remember that. And each tower, we're gonna just, as you're gonna follow this series, you're gonna see that each tower is gonna have different stats. See here, every tower has different numbers here. So it's very important that you start, you combine different towers, because you need to, in this case, you're gonna need something to be able to kill stronger enemies, to do more damage to stronger enemies or to armor enemies. And you're gonna need the tower that can attack flying enemies, and therefore you need to combo the towers between themselves. Now, the other main strength of this tower is the fact that it's very cheap. So it's not only the base cost that is cheap, but also the upgrade cost that is cheap. And therefore you can get a lot of levels. You can increase you can upgrade the level of the tower with very few coins. So you don't need many coins. Of course, this can be further enhanced with research. Currently, I have max research in normal mode, so this is reduced to the maximum. And you can see that with each upgrade, you can increase different stats. Sometimes you increase all the stats, other than, remember, damage multiplier. So this special stat will not be increased by upgrading the tower. You can see that in this case, I'm upgrading everything other than attack speed. Then at level 3, I'm upgrading everything other than range. So every level is gonna give different stats, all right? And normally, the more you upgrade it, the more damage, so the stronger the tower becomes. You can see that here the range is being boosted, and yeah, up to, in this case, level 6 because of the stats I have. And yeah, so this is the, this tower normally is best placed close to the path, so you don't want to place it too far away. For example, here, see that it cannot even reach. So this tower excels if you place it close to the path. And as we said before, this tower can attack very quickly. but lacks doing damage to multiple enemies. So that means that it's gonna struggle after wave 70. So after the enemies start gaining a lot of HP, this tower is gonna struggle because it's gonna take a longer time to destroy just one enemy, and therefore all the other enemies are gonna start, to push forward until you eventually cannot target them all. So normally this tower is a very good early game tower, so until like wave 70, but then it scales off pretty bad, so you're gonna need other towers for after like wave 70 and 80, around that time. There are other things, let's say abilities. Yeah, so abilities is things that you can unlock as the tower gains more passive levels. So this level up here, these are not upgrade levels, but these are passive levels. See that here is LVL, and here instead is only L. All right. Now at level 4 and level 7 you can unlock 2 out of 3. So you're always going to need to choose between the 3 abilities, and you only can get 2. So in this case, for this tower, you're going to have attack speed, damage, and rotation speed, and then a chance of ricochet. Now these stats can be further enhanced with research, so remember about that. So that's why you can see these numbers being slightly higher. Yeah, depending on the situation, depending on your strategy, depending on what you need, you're gonna go with more attack speed and more damage, or maybe attack speed and more rotation, projectile speed, and then ricochet. So this can be interesting. So the fact that you have a chance of having a ricochet means that you can do a little bit more of area damage, and therefore you can damage multiple enemies. So this can be pretty useful in certain scenarios. Or maybe you can just go with damage and this. So it depends. It's just a combo, these two, or this one, or these two. So it's just like that. Then level 10, you get another ability, and in this case, this ability for the tower means that all the coins that you spent before it reached this level are going to be returned 100%. So the selling cost is returned 100%, and this is one of the most useless abilities in the game. And then at level 20, you can choose between 2 different upgrades. So an ultimate ability or getting more power. So 10% more power. You can see the power affects damage. Well, actually affects every stat other than range and the special stat. So this yellow one and range will not be affected, see here, by the extra 10% power. Or you can choose to unlock the ultimate ability. Each tower is going to have a different ultimate ability that is unique, and in this case, for the basic tower, is going to be the fact that it's going to clone one random tower or towers, because we're going to see later on that with endless research you can create more clones. So it's going to clone one tower close to it, so being close to the basic tower that has this ultimate ability, and this clone is going to have 60% of the tower's upgrade level, and all the experience that it's going to gain. So this clone tower, by attacking the enemies, is going to gain experience, and all this experience is going to be transferred to the tower that was cloned. All right, and now in order to show you all this, we're going to just play here in this level. All right, so I'm gonna just place one single basic tower, so in that way I should be able to get it to level 20 quite fast. So in this case, I'm gonna get damage and I'm gonna get rotation and projectile speed to have this chance of having the ricochet, and therefore I should be able to survive just with one basic tower. Of course, as I said before, guys, this is the overall strength of the tower depends on research. So the more research you have, the stronger it's gonna be. But despite having a max research, this tower is gonna still struggle a lot after like wave 70 and 80, because of the fact that the way in which it's built is gonna be bad for the late game. So you're gonna always need other towers. So what I'm gonna do here is I wanna build I don't know, like just another tower, just level 2 here. All right, I don't wanna make it still experience. And I want to see if the tower can reach level 20. I'm going to unlock this ultimate, and I want to see how I'm going to just show you how the clone works, because it's very interesting. So here we go. That's level 10 upgrade level, so that's maximum level. It's getting here, you can see the passive experience. and then the passive level. So each time that it attacks an enemy or it destroys it, it gains a certain amount of experience. Again, this experience gain can be enhanced by research. So remember, everything pretty much can be enhanced with research. Alright, so level 15, just 5 more levels to go. Hopefully, like for wave 50, we'll be able to get the tower level at 20. Is the, you know, this tower is killing every single enemy, so that means that it's gaining the full amount of experience that it could gain, is gaining it. So you can see that here just a couple of enemies were attacked by this cannon, so it shouldn't have stealed too much experience. But you can see that you know, the more the game goes on, you can see that the more HP the enemies get. And at a certain point, the enemies get so much HP that despite these towers' best efforts, they're gonna be able to start, you know, pushing forward, and especially when there are many of them. And now you can clearly see as well how this tower really destroys regular enemies very easily, but every time that there are some strong enemies, it struggles. See, because it's only doing, remember, 50% of damage to these enemies. So it's it needs more attacks until it can destroy them. We're at level 19, almost there. Alright. And here we go. So here we should be able to see the clone. See here? You can choose between power and the ultimate. I'm going to just choose the ultimate. And you can see how it works. So this tower is actually not there. But you can't build another tower on top of it, because of course the clone is just taking the spot, and therefore this now is the cannon that is getting you know, cloned. You can see that this is like a fully new tower, but it's just that you're not upgrading it. See that you can upgrade it if you want to, but as you upgrade this one, all right, normally I would say that this should level up, but I would, yeah, probably yeah, probably it doesn't work like that, because yeah, this is not working as I thought, because you can see that if I level up this tower, it's not that the clone also levels up. So the clone only levels up when the tower is cloned at the beginning. So I need to like sell it. So I need to wait for this basic tower to clone it again, and then maybe it's gonna be like level 3. I think, I don't know. I'm just hoping. You can see already, like wave 64, some strong enemies are just too strong, and therefore they're just getting through. But yeah, it's interesting to see that once I sell the clone, it's not gonna like clone again. So yeah, it's a one-time effect. If you either sell the clone or if you do anything, it's gonna just disappear. So so yeah, I hope that you know, you can see, guys, some things I didn't even know about them. I'm just learning with you. But yeah, this is a pretty bad ability in my opinion, because you know, the only thing that you save up is the placing, but then you need to upgrade this new tower. You need to upgrade it fully from the beginning. You need to still spend coins, you know, to be able to get it. And so yes, if you have this tower like higher, like level 10, and you then get the ultimate, you can clone the tower from level 5, so you can like gain 5 levels, which you haven't spent any cash on. But then yeah, it doesn't really look that great. And you can see here also, if you go very slow, you can see the ricochet effect. Sometimes, you know, bouncing off the first enemy and hitting the second one with in this case is with a 16.8% chance. So yeah, going very slow is very interesting to see the actual, you know, ricochet in action. So yeah, this is very cool actually. I didn't thought you could be able to see it in like slow motion. But yeah, so I just show you the tower in a real gameplay to just show you that this tower, you know, it's pretty good early game. It's pretty good against like regular enemies, but then it struggles a lot. Like after wave 70, it just struggles so much, so it's you're gonna need other towers, you know, for the late game. Now let's take a look at research, because as I said before, research is very important to boost every single aspect of the tower. And you can see that here you can increase how many levels you can get. You can upgrade the tower, right, up to level 10. This is the passive levels, so how many levels? Up to level 20. And this is damage, attack speed, projectile speed, range, and rotation speed. Plus, you see that you have experience multiplier. So when you hit enemies or when you kill them, this is the amount of experience that is multiplied, so you get more experience. This is the basic cost. You can see that here is minus, so that means that the basic cost of the tower is reduced. And the same with the upgrade price. So for the upgrades, so for these ones right here, they're gonna cost a certain percentage less. And then here you can see the starting level of the tower, the passive experience, and then this is the special passive. So you can see that in this case is damage multiplier. And yeah, these are the normal stats. So you can see that depending on the amount of you have, there is a maximum level that you can reach. And yeah, you can further boost this. And then up here you can find the abilities. So you have the abilities level 4 and level 7. So here is damage, attack speed, rotation speed, and this is the ricochet chance. And you can really increase every single one of the stats. And now in this case, for this tower, you can only then increase the ultimate. In this case is having more level of the clone. So in this case it was, I think, 60%. And for other towers, for example, you can also increase the ability level 10. You can increase more things of the ultimate. And yeah, so as I said before, everything of the tower can be enhanced pretty much. And then if we move on to the endless research, so a harder version of the game, you can see that research becomes a lot larger, because you can here get every upgrade other than the upgrade level. All right, you can get any other research. You can have a lot more of points into it. You can see here maximum level 100 for the damage. You can have more passive levels, more projectile speed, like more of anything really. Everything can be increased depending on the of the research. You have different levels. You can see here level 100, here's level 50, this is level 25, so here level 15, so it's not the same for everything. And yeah, you can increase this, you know, with the endless research. And another cool thing is that you can further increase the abilities. In this case, you can see level 20 or level 10, and you have access to other abilities. Like I don't know if you guys could remember, but here, see that there are only 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? Researches for the abilities. If I go to endless, now I have 6. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And therefore, with endless research, I can further enhance the number of clones. So I can have, instead of just 1 clone, I can have 2, or 3, or 4, depending on the max level. So it's very cool, because endless just let you not only increase massively, you know, the damage and the overall stats of the tower, but also let you to get even more stats, you know, having more clones in this case. And you know, every tower is gonna gain something with endless, something extra. So so yeah, it's pretty cool. And research in this game is very important. So try to you know, try to get more levels, you know, to have the tower that gets stronger. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope that you were able to find it enjoyable. They were able to learn one thing or two about the this tower. And yeah, see you soon. Bye bye.